We have a ton of big wrestling news in this video. As always, timestamps in the description down below. We're going to kick things off talking about AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Dave Meltzer just recently confirmed on the Wrestling Observer newsletter that AEW stars are expected to be at Wrestle Kingdom 17. So despite the fact that this pay-per-view will not be billed as a Forbidden Door pay-per-view, the idea of AEW and New Japan working together will remain, and I actually like that. It's one of the things that makes AEW special. The fact that they have such a great open door policy with other companies does make AEW an attractive product. I do hope that whatever they are building towards Wrestle Kingdom 17, whatever happens, I hope we get to see it on TV in some sort of fashion. Obviously, New Japan and AEW have very different distribution techniques, and I think that is going to make it very, very interesting. Obviously, I expect AEW stars to show up in Japan for some events before the pay-per-view, but if we can also see some of that New Japan talent maybe build some stories in America, whether it's on NJPW Strong, AEW, Rampage, or Dynamite, I don't really care, but I think this is a great idea for AEW and New Japan to continue their relationship, and I'm excited to see what happens. I want to turn our attention to WWE WrestleMania 39. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about it now that Triple H is in power. But with WrestleMania 39, guys, they have some really good news. They've actually had record numbers for tickets sold in the first 24 hours. And this is not shocking whatsoever. Over 90,000 tickets to WrestleMania 39 has been sold in the first 24 hours. Now, keep in mind, WWE WrestleMania 39 is a 2-day event, so we'll actually know when the event happens how much of a success it truly is. However, the idea that so many people were looking at getting tickets immediately just goes to show you that Triple H has definitely already started to have an impact on the way fans perceive WrestleMania and how fans perceive the WWE brand altogether. With WrestleMania being in California, I would like to be there. I know they're billing it as WrestleMania Hollywood, but SoFi Stadium is actually not in Hollywood. But nonetheless, it's good marketing, good branding. I want to be there. I haven't secured my tickets yet, but my idea is something a little bit different. I want to go to the event, but I also want to do like a subscriber meetup. If this is something that interests you, let me know in the comment section. I've toyed with the idea on Discord a little bit. It's something I would love to do and get together with everybody. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Sasha Banks and Naomi, we have an update on them. Sasha Banks and Naomi appear at Marvel's She-Hulk premiere. Guys, Marvel Studios had Sasha Banks and Naomi at the premiere. And I find this to be very interesting because they haven't technically returned to WWE just yet. However, they are very well maintaining that close friendship and close relationship. Now, if you guys missed my video before, I did talk about them returning to WWE, and it is expected. I assume it's going to happen at Clash at the Castle or perhaps Monday Night Raw or SmackDown following the pay-per-view. They are expected to be on WWE TV soon. However, this appearance does not appear to be like a WWE appearance. So this is just based on their own personal brand, which I think is very strong. You know, Sasha Banks and Naomi are very popular, especially within the mainstream world. Obviously, Naomi was on Total Divas, and that definitely played a role into it. And then, of course, Sasha Banks became a really big WWE star, and then we seen her on Mandalorian. So obviously, she has the connections with Disney. So very cool stuff here. I'm expecting them soon. But now they are starting to get out of the private life and they are starting to go a little bit more public. Keep in mind, they were very quiet for a while and now that doesn't appear to be the case. So it should be very interesting to see what happens next. I want to turn our attention to Shotzi Blackheart. Somebody mentioned this to me before. They said, man, what happened to Shotzi Blackheart? She was so good in NXT. WWE dropped the ball. And it appears that Vince McMahon dropped the ball. But of course, if you are watching WWE now, it's no longer under Vince McMahon. Triple H is running things. And one of the biggest things that Vince McMahon did that actually hurt Shotzi Blackheart was he took away her entrance. Yeah, that's right. They took away the tank. And that was something that Shotzi Blackheart really got over in WWE NXT. Now Shotzi Blackheart tweeted a photo of the tank in a warehouse or something like that. And it appears that Shotzi Blackheart will be getting her entrance back. Now, I don't know what WWE has plans for Shotzi going forward, but as Triple H puts a big focus on this women's division, I expect Shotzi is going to be up there. And honestly, you know, if we can start building some stories with Shotzi and Liv Morgan, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have some fresh faces win that SmackDown Women's Championship belt. So I am all for it. I think it's a great idea. And also, I want to make it very clear, Shotzi is one of those people that was left with just one name in WWE. So I'm hoping that Triple H goes back to calling her Shotzi Blackheart. I want to see the NXT version of Shotzi. I feel like Vince McMahon dropped the ball. He didn't really care. And that seems to be the big case with a lot of people that came from NXT. Vince McMahon wanted to put his touch on absolutely everything. And sometimes it works, but not all the time. So I'm glad that Triple H has taken over and now we are seeing this. But now we got to talk about something really massive. And that is, of course, WWE going away from Scrips. So if you guys saw WWE Raw, then you saw a fantastic match between Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. And this match was actually set up thanks to an incredibly fire and passionate promo battle between Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre. Now, one of the things that a lot of people on the internet noticed was Drew McIntyre not only speaking more fiercely, and also not only was he speaking more passionately, but he was also speaking facts. He brought up his history of getting released, coming back, having to earn everything, and then all hell broke loose when he talked about being wrestlers. Now, you guys know that WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, had banned a lot of words from being used in promos and, of course, commentary. Words like hospital were not allowed. Words like wrestling were not allowed. And Drew McIntyre broke the rules here, and a lot of people are wondering what is going on. Now, several months ago, I made a video talking about WWE working away from Scripts, and the belief is that certain superstars will not be heavily scripted. They might be given bullet points, but the belief is that they are going to be given a little bit more creative freedom to get over whatever the necessary topic is. In this case, the idea was to push a promo to get Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens to really just go after each other. It's kind of like a competitive nature between two guys. Kevin Owens is back to being the prize fighter. Drew McIntyre wants the prize. He feels like he's earned it. And honestly, not only did it set up an incredible match, but this gets me excited about the idea of Roman Reigns dropping the belt, because now there's fresh matchups and there's things that we can start to expect. Kevin Owens is in his own world now, and he is finally doing things the way that he used to do. And Drew McIntyre, in a weird way, I feel like he's starting to break off a little bit from the Vince McMahon era and starting to form into what Triple H's NXT era was. And those who remember Drew McIntyre in NXT know exactly what I'm talking about. So to me, this is just wonderful news. I'm excited to see that they're kind of going away from Scripts. Again, this won't apply to everybody in every scenario, but they are going to be given a little bit more freedom to go off and do what they need to do to push things over. WWE is already making changes. I'm not saying it's perfect, but we are on a good road to WrestleMania, and I'm excited to see what happens next.